Hi everyone, this is Histology by Genius, and today we're going to talk about histology of cardiac muscle. There are three types of muscle: cardiac, skeletal, and smooth muscle. Even on those three little snaps you can see the difference, but let's get into details. Let's start with cardiac muscle at a low magnification. The first thing you look at when you have already figured out it's a slide of some kind of muscle is the type of the cut it is. The question you have to ask yourself is it a transverse section or longitudinal section? This is how transverse section and longitudinal section would look in real life. Now let's talk about features of cardiac muscle. The special feature of the cardiac muscle is branching. The branching is pretty self-explanatory, but you can think of it as Y-shaped organization. Now, as we take a look at the longitudinal section of cardiac muscle at a higher magnification, its branching becomes even more visible. And these can look as Y letters. Another feature of cardiac muscle that you can see already at this magnification is intercalated discs. But before we talk about intercalated discs, let's quickly review the structure of muscle. We'll start with the biggest structure called muscle. The muscle consists of multiple muscle fascicles. Now, muscle fascicles consist of multiple muscle fibers. Muscle fibers, also known as myocytes, are multinucleated muscle cells. And there are even smaller structures. Muscle fibers consist of myofibrils, and myofibrils consist of thick and thin myofilaments. Now let's quickly review the organization of connective tissue in muscle. First, muscle itself is surrounded by a layer of dense connective tissue called epimysium. Next, muscle fascicles are surrounded by a layer of connective tissue called perimysium. Muscle fibers, also known as muscle cells, are individually surrounded by a layer of loose connective tissue called endomysium. Finally, there is cell membrane of muscle fiber that lays adjacent or under the endomysium and is called sarcolemma. The intercalated discs are part of cell membrane of muscle fiber, or as we call it, sarcolemma. Those are gap junctions that link and hold cardiac muscle fibers together during contraction. Now let's take a look at how intercalated discs appear on a slide under microscope. Take a look at them here, but also keep in mind that they can appear as dark lines. Last feature of cardiac muscle that we will talk about today is cross striations. There are two types of muscle that are classified as striated muscle, and those are skeletal and cardiac muscle. Today we'll take a look at cross striation on a slide of cardiac muscle. Striation on muscle appear as dark lines. Let's review the three special features that together help you determine that your slide is of cardiac muscle are branching, intercalated discs, and cross striations. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. You can also find us on Instagram at Histology by Genius.